Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is the first in a series of probably 3 or 4 videos for a new client project. It is an oak dresser armoire in solid white oak. It'll have drawers coming down and then shelves with doors. This was for my cut list. If you watch my previous project management video, this is my cut list that I took to the lumberyard. So I was able to easily go down this list and buy my lumber. What I bought was the majority of white oak that I need for this project. Again, it is 4/4, which is 1 inch, but I buy my lumber rough sawn so that I get to cut it. So what I'm doing now is I'm cutting it into these lengths that I have for my cut sheet. So these are in these lengths, mostly 83 inches and about 24. I will joint one side, and then I will sticker these and let them acclimate in the shop, probably for about a week. In this series of clips, I am rough cutting each one of my boards. These are still rough milled lumber. I'm measuring and marking from my plans and making sure to notate on every single board what piece this is, because I am looking at grain and I am looking at some continuous grain on each one of the boards. These will then be stickered, as you'll see, and then I will rough cut these later on and then finished joint and plane them once they've been stickered. So I've broken the boards down for this white oak armoire dresser into rough lengths. So I'm going to let these sticker. We've got good airflow, we've got even spacing. I'm going to let these sticker for at least 5 or 6 days. Now you'll see me jointing one face and one edge of all of the boards. These clips are from the drawers and some of the shelves, but the long sides, top and bottom, are exactly the same. Even though I'm wearing hearing protection, it's still important to not play music and to listen to the jointer, because you will tell from the sound when a side has been completely jointed or an edge has been completely jointed. Sometimes you'll see me taking a look at it because I want to make sure, and other times you'll see me, especially when I join an edge, I'll just keep going back and rejointing it because I've heard that there's a gap in the sound. So it's very important after this that I let these sticker overnight, and then I will plane them, and then you'll see me gluing them up later. Now I have the side panels all laid out. You'll see I'm using again my square steel supports that I'll use to clamp up. I'm marking for my dominoes here, just for alignment. They really don't give a lot of strength here. Now I'm cutting the dominoes. Again, you've seen this a million times, so I won't bore you with much. But running these, I'm using my steel supports so that I've got everything square when I cut the dominoes, and things will stay aligned. As part of my usual process, I've got the dominoes in each of the sides. I've got glue applied. I'm using my woodpecker's alignment tools, these red plastic guides, to ensure that the ends are absolutely dead flat. I'll put these on both sides and clamp them up. I will use the edge clamps to fully tighten after these alignment clamps are flat. And you'll see now I'm placing my steel square beams on this and clamping those up. So I really end up with a completely flat glue up. Just the slightest amount of scraping with a Stanley scraper blade to get rid of glue, and take care of any really slight alignment issues. Usually at most, you'll see here, I'm pretty much dead flat using an engineer's rule, and this keeps me aligned and notifies me, and I'll mark if I have anything that needs a tiny bit of work with the scraper. Now the sides are out of the clamps, you'll see that they're dead flat. It looks like a lot of work, but to end up with dead flat panels really makes the project that much easier. One thing that's very important in a project that's this complex is doing all of the layout. So this oak armoire has multiple shelf dados, and it'll have rabbet on the back to fit in the back slats. So what I've done is actually taken about 3 or 4 hours to lay out every single dado, every single shelf position. There'll be a short rail coming across on the left side, on the right side, and top and bottom. And I'm using my layout stick that I've done. I'll link to a short video that I did on this. But the advantage of this is that I'm not using a tape measure on this. I'm using my layout stick so that on each one of these, the dimensions are absolutely identical. I don't have to worry about a difference between the left and the right, even an 1/8 of an inch, so that I have a shelf that is slightly tilted. I will use this layout stick on the center panel, which obviously has a left and right side, and then I will start cutting my dados. Here I'm cutting the rabbets on the top and bottom that will accept the 2 sides. You'll see that I have these taped off with blue tape to avoid as much as possible tear out. White oak is particularly prone to tear out. I do these in 2 passes. The first pass I'm really trying to go beyond the score that I've done with a very sharp knife and get the first pass in, and then I'll do a second pass and bring it home with a final depth of 3/8 of an inch. What you'll see me doing here is taking a Japanese pole saw and cutting where the rabbet will end on each side. The white oak splinters very easily, and I want to make sure that it's a very clean cut. After using my Japanese pole saw to score the edges down to the 3/8 inch depth of the rabbet, I'm doing a final pass with my router. I've got an edge guide. I'm going fairly slowly and making sure that I've got as clean a cut as possible. And this will again allow the sides to be accepted into the top and bottom. I will peg these with hand cut dowel. What I'm doing here, after using my story pole or story stick, I've run some blue tape 2-inch wide, and I've scored it to make sure that I've got a clean line. This will also help avoid some tear out in this white oak. And I'm pulling out that center strip, and that way when I put my router guides down, I can make sure that the router bit is cutting exactly where I want it. And again, that I avoid tear out wherever possible. Now I'm starting to cut the dados for the fixed shelves. I've scored a line with a knife, and I'm running gentle passes about an 1/8 of an inch at a time. On the sides, the dados are roughly 3/8 of an inch deep, and on the center panels, because they're dados on either side, the dado will only be 1/4 inch deep. Gentle passes, making sure that each side runs perfectly. Now I'm running the rabbet on the back with an edge guide. This will accept the back slats for the piece once it's all assembled. Thanks so much for watching this video. There'll be another episode of the White Oak Dresser in 2 weeks. Please like and subscribe and send questions.